This is my Sony a7 III. I've recently upgraded to it from the Sony a6500 for YouTube and photography purposes. I want to talk to you about some of the things I learned in this whole upgrading process. But first, my name is Mitchell. I'm fluent in tech, so you don't need to be. And if you have questions about this upgrade path or about things within the Sony ecosystem, buying a camera for YouTube, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to go ahead and answer that. Now, I have more than 15 years of photography experience. I started on a Nikon D70 and Adobe Lightroom CS3. Now, I'm using Adobe Lightroom 2022 and Premiere Pro 2022 and all that jazz, and I love it. That said, when I got the Sony a6500, I was looking to get into the world of video for YouTube because the Sony APS-C cameras, the a6100, a6300, 6400, 6500, and 6600 make awesome cameras for YouTube. They're compact, they're small, they're light, they have incredible autofocus, and they have really good image quality. And I can, without a doubt, recommend someone get a Sony APS-C camera to start on YouTube because they are ultimately kind of the best YouTube cameras, period. That said, when we start talking about lenses and buying lenses for these interchangeable cameras, I need to caution everyone. Now, the camera I'm using right now is the Sony ZV-E1, and I think it's a great YouTube camera as well, but it's just on a different league. I would say this is the best YouTube camera for someone on a budget, but if you're looking to get interchangeable lenses, the Sony APS-C ZV-E10 would be a better choice. That said, if you are looking to buy lenses, you're probably going to look at the Sigma 16mm f1.4. It's a beautiful lens, and it's a lens that I used for 4 years, and it made me a lot of money. That said, switching to full frame from APS-C meant that I had to get rid of all of my APS-C glass. And obviously I'm gonna take a hit on depreciation and losing out on that. I could have bought those lenses used, and I did buy a few of those lenses used, and I lost less money on those. But ultimately, if I had bought something like this, which is a 17 to 28mm f2.8, I could have used it on my a6500 and on the camera I have right now. So my message to you guys is that if you are looking to get your first YouTube camera and you want it to be an interchangeable lens camera, Sony is going to be probably the best option. A Sony a6300 or a6400 with all of the flippy screen and autofocus and color science that Sony has to offer is also probably going to be your best option. That said, I don't think that you should buy a bunch of fixed focal length lenses unless you need the fast aperture for low light, or you want to go ahead and do more artistic stuff with a shallow depth of field. Those Sigma lenses are going to be fantastic. If you are looking to save money, you can get this Tamron 17 to 28 new or used for about the cost of the Sigma 16mm plus the Sigma 30mm. It's going to be a little bit more money, but you're going to be able to use this lens if you want to upgrade to full frame. And ultimately, I actually think that upgrading to full frame is something that very few people need to do, which is why I think when you start your journey doing YouTube or doing video stuff like this, you need to ask yourself, am I only going to want to do stuff like this, like for YouTube videos to share on social media? Or do I want to do something that's more artistic? Maybe making commercials for people, maybe try to make this more of a business instead of just a casual hobby. And if the answer to that is yes, well then ultimately you should prepare for moving into the full frame world and invest in glass that will let you do that. You could also get vintage prime lenses, but for doing YouTube, I think autofocus is really necessary. And actually, I think that this camera I'm using right now, the Sony ZV-E1, the Sony ZV-1 is probably the best choice. You don't need to buy a lens, get a good microphone, some batteries, you can use an external monitor. Autofocus is awesome, and ultimately it's gonna make that easier for you. And in the future, if you're using it in a studio environment, there's really not much need to upgrade to a full frame camera or even an APS-C camera because this camera is like so perfect for YouTube. Okay, we're gonna put a cap on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you don't make the same mistakes I do. And until next time, it's been Mitchell. Peace.